Hello. Check. Hello. Check. We sound good.
Good.
Gooder?
Am I gooder?
Yeah,
Am I
we're good.
gooder?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Good.
Yeah, I watched that and was like, I just truly want you to see that part because it just gives me the chills, and the whole movie's beautiful.
Well, it's so unexpected. You have her just yeah.
Eat up.
Yeah, you literally just have her prancing around, talking to the cows and the sheep,
It's so
acting
cool.
all cute.
It's so
and then
cute.
she's like, bam, let me feed this gator.
Yep. Get over here, Theta. Well, welcome, guys. We are back. This is episode 2.
Yes.
This is Creepy Connie.
And this is King Jeremy the Wicked.
I tell you, we got such an incredible second episode loaded for you guys. And to say that we released our first, it's now out on all platforms. The feedback was incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I mean, for me personally, just having something out there that I got to be a part of is just really cool.
So cool.
It just really is cool.
I love it. And it means the world to me that you're part of it because you know your stuff.
Thank you.
And it's
I'm so happy that you let me be a part of it.
Yes. So yeah, the feedback we got was 100. I mean, tons of thumbs up. We
so
popped
glad.
off in 3 countries.
Ooh.
The UK, the US, of course, and Aruba.
Look at us.
So I had to say, Alexa, is Aruba a country?
What did Alexa say?
She's not saying anything. Wow. Yes, Aruba's a country. So yeah, we had a few really cool responses. One said, listened, loved it. And I got a thumbs up from the East Coast, thumbs up from the West Coast. One of my favorites, my British guest, was like, "You're international, brother." I love that. So
that's fantastic.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, everyone that kind of gave me feedback, they're like, "You haven't finished it," but they gave us feedback, and it's just remarkable that they spent their hour and 14 minutes listening.
Yeah.
Let alone reaching out and saying that it was very enjoyable, and they loved the title too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because you were like, well, we got to do ghosts. It's got to be the first Ghostesses. Ghostesses. So it'll be clever throughout to see what this episode is going to be called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Our seconded Ghosteded.
Our tooted Ghosteded. Tooted. Pull the finger, tooted Ghosteded. And for reiterating as far as like all of the B-roll and all the giggles and stuff, just right at the beginning, one of my favorite people on earth, she's like, "You guys are having so much fun."
We really are. We're laughing a lot while we do this.
And there wasn't like hard edits or anything else. I mean, there was some like vocal pops and some weird transitions and whatnot. But going through the editing, like with headers on, I've got Lotus behind me playing some horror VR game, and I'm listening and I'm laughing hysterically because some of the things that I did have to cut out were just so funny.
Like our mess ups are some of the funniest parts.
Yeah, so I had to leave a lot of that in there, and that's amazing on the television.
Oh yeah, I love that Twister is on the TV in the background. I just see a cow flying through the air.
Eat up. Come on, Pearl. So
I can't get over that. That was wild. She was singing and she was acting so cutesy. Stabs goose, feeds it to a gator.
What do you want, Mr. Goose? So yes, let's go into what's happening now in the world of horror.
Ooh.
We've got 3 movies out, and I had the pleasure of seeing all 3 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Longlegs kicked my ass.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Longlegs was so good.
I can't wait to see it.
I mean, Micah Monroe, like her character was so perfect, so dead on. She had this like what I picked up on was like this kind of weird tick A little slightly Spectrum. Definitely got into, a little more as the film went on, but you really just are unknown. And then, of course, Nick Cage.
Oh my gosh!
Like Nick Cage, I read an article in Fangoria and said, see if you can figure out who he is summoning for this character.
Yeah.
And I totally was like Tiny Tim. Tiptoes, and I was wrong. I was wrong.
Who was he channeling?
His mother. His mother.
What?
So
for a horror movie?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what he said. But I mean,
interesting choice.
And when I was in New Orleans last December, we couldn't get into the what is it? The cemetery, St. Louis, the cemetery, where
where a
lot of the
Orleans.
famous people in New Orleans, St. Louis the Fourth, I think. That we couldn't get into that particular one where the some of the famous people, the Madame Laveau and a lot of the
like the voodoo
queens, are buried there, but Nick Cage has a pyramid. Oh. That's where he's going to be buried, in that St. Louis Cathedral.
Of course he does.
But they wouldn't let you in. And then I was like, if I'm sneaky enough, I can climb this fence. And they're like, yeah, you're not going to do that.
No.
But what's crazy is, and bringing this up just because Nick Cage just killed it in Longlegs, what I thought of was, he's already got his plot in this cemetery. And I'm one, if I go to Charleston or Savannah, I'm like, oh, look at the not the locals. What do you call it? The travelers that come.
Oh, the tourists.
Tourists. I'm still feeding off this cow.
The freaking cow in the background.
The tourist is like, look at the tourists. Change the channel. The tourist is like, look at the tourists.
Oh,
They're in the horse-driven buggy, learning about ghosts that walk the streets or whatever. Some fictitious.
That's what I would do.
Deadhead.
That's what I would do.
I'm just gonna make a bunch of stuff up, and these guys are gonna pay me. Just the scarier the better. When we left the hallway, it grabbed my gold chain because there was the cross on it.
Nuh-uh.
True story. I'm taking pictures in St. Louis III cemetery, and a little traveling tourist group went by, and I heard them say, "You'll never believe who's buried in this tomb, this crypt, this grave." It's the first mayor of New Orleans.
Oh, wow.
Along with 75 other family members. So these tomb crates.
So it was a mass grave.
They all are. They all are.
Yeah.
Like when they have these crypts,
it's family.
It's
dedicated?
family, and it's just bodies upon bodies upon bodies upon bodies. So there was one that, because after Katrina, it was just so sad. It was so sad to think that there's 180 crypts in this particular one, but there's probably 4,000 people buried in this, and I never thought of that. So I wouldn't get that if I didn't. The tourist little group went by me, and I heard that, and I was like, I think I'm going to follow and maybe learn something else.
Yeah,
but
maybe I'll just tag along to this little field trip.
I don't look suspicious. I'm in a tuxedo, and it's 99 degrees. But yeah, saw Longlegs. It kicked my tail. It was so good. I loved every moment of it. I wish we could have seen it together, because I sat in the theater for about 5 minutes after they were cleaning up. I was waiting for someone to tap my shoulder and be like, "Bro, you gotta go."
It's time for the next showing. You gotta leave.
My mouth agape. There was popcorn everywhere, and I didn't even have popcorn, so I don't know where that came from. And that whole world that Osgood Perkins places in front of us is fantastic. Definitely 2 claps.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to watch it this week.
You got a lot going on.
I've had a lot going on, but it's slowing down. So I'll finally have some time to put in some movies that I can actually sit down and fully absorb.
And the next film, Maxine. Ooh. So good.
Okay.
So again, we talked last episode. It's X, and it's Pearl, my favorite Pearl.
Oh my gosh.
The pearly gates of Pearl. Eat up.
Oh my gosh.
Maxine seals it. Maxine is the 80s. I want to use the word demigod. I don't know why, because she is fierce. She wants to be a star. She is a star. She kills it from when the gates open to the gates close. It is such a fantastic film, and I truly, truly, truly believe Ty West is God.
He is God.
And we just watched a little bit of Pearl, and it's so beautiful.
It is beautiful. So beautiful. It really is beautiful.
That Wizard of Oz type feel is.
It felt almost enchanted.
Very much so. Just dreamlike. And the entire film's like that. And then you get your, just wait till you see the ending.
I can't wait.
The ending is.
I cannot
The ending
wait.
is so good. Maxine, two claps, definitely. Going off with this, we've got 2 games that are out. Not horror, but NCAA football. It was so good. I love sports, and the game just came out, and I went undefeated the entire season, and first round of the playoffs got whooped. And was like, I don't like this game. I'm going to play this game. I'm never playing this game again. But
through your little temper
through
tantrum.
my little temper tantrum. It was like 3 a.m, and I was like stomping and whatnot. But yeah, there's a new Meta Quest game that's out called Hide the Corpse. Lotus is playing it. That's all I'm going to say.
Is it like just exactly how it sounds? You're hiding the corpse?
Hide the corpse.
Okay. Fun.
So then on July 23rd, we've got a new book coming out. It's Michael Seidlinger's Body Harvest. And the premise is virus chasers.
Oh.
Yes. So I kind of dove in. It's not out yet.
That could be interesting.
Virus chasers. And it was just Michael saying, through COVID, I had a lot of things going on inside my head.
Yeah.
So how cool would it be to create this?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm going to pick it up this week.
This was COVID inspired as soon as you said virus hunter. I was like, this is backing off of COVID.
Or hopefully it is. If it's not, then it's just
if they're chasing
seriously.
COVID.
Yeah. We're chasing COVID. We're chasing twisters. We're chasing tornadoes.
We're
chasing. Her arms were cut off. Her legs
were cut off. Her ears were cut off.
Eyebrows were waxed. All right, guys, we're getting into episode 2, The Conjuring.
Let's jump right in.
And now,
Her performance was out of
this world. So we're cut. Now we're back at the Warrens. The foreshadowing of the Lorraine episode, where she's got this crutch that we don't know about yet. We know that Ed is trying to prevent her from getting back to that darkness.
Yeah, we don't really know the full story yet. We just know something bad happened to Lorraine on a job.
Yeah. And it was recent.
And Ed was like terrified. This has
not happened. So he says, I'm going to go to the store. And she's like, we've been married 15 years. Yeah. You can't lie to me.
So a psychic.
I'm also a psychic. Yeah. It's like,
you're not going to the store.
We know you have a side piece. We all know.
Where's the burner from?
Yeah. She says it's 1970. It's called a solo cup with a little string matched to a solo cup.
I'm forgetting our time.
So I love it's good. It's good. So the other thing that's really funny that it keeps getting brought up in many podcasts that I listen to, even the books that I've read. The scenario of saying, I don't want you ghost hunting with me. I don't want you going on these demonologist retreats. I'm tired of you being a kook and a wacko weirdo with me. She's like, do you remember what you said to me on our wedding night? And he's like, yeah, we'll do it again. And she's like, no, before that. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, before all that stuff.
God brought us together for a reason. God brought us together for a reason. That's the thing. Wow. That's crazy.
As a Catholic, them being Catholic and them just fully diving into that religion and using that to go forward with their demonology and use their beliefs in that study and God bringing them together, that is a very big thing in the Catholic Church. Your God does everything for a reason.
Right.
It's not just in the Catholic Church. I'm sure in all Christian religions, there's a reason. And they truly do have a purpose to being together. They fit like a glove.
Yeah.
They do.
Kind of like Revival.
Kind of like Revival.
I don't know. It's a different hand.
Different.
It's like one's a mitt, one's a rugby scrum.
One's a scrum cap.
One's a scrum cap, one's a kook. So, again, our second song, which is perfect timing. It's Betsy Bree, and it's the song Sleepwalk, which there's been so many renditions of this song.
This one was perfect.
This one was perfect because Roger's now going away. I had him going away earlier, but now he's now going away for his retreat. And all the girls are asleep. More bruises on Carolyn.
Yeah, Carolyn is just getting beat up.
She's bruised.
Every night.
But not in pain. You know, she's not sleeping.
Yeah,
I think it's just enough
woken up
by it.
Yeah. It's weird because we do not know where the bruises are coming from. You, in the back of your head, you're like, something with a ghost is happening.
Definitely.
But you never see her get the bruises.
Yeah, you don't.
You're like, where are these coming from?
I know there was one moment, I think it's down a little way where there was, you see fingers grab an arm, but it's not, it's almost like, it's not bruising. It was
like a burn.
Yeah, like a burn. Almost like a burn.
A burn in the shape of the fingers.
In the shape of the fingers.
So, yeah, it's wild. It's so cool. It's almost like, I remember there was like a theory that she was sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking, okay.
That she was walking around and they had her banging into stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
she did. But I mean, shoulder blades.
Yeah. There's weird parts.
Thigh.
Yeah, there's weird parts of her body that she couldn't have just walked into something and gotten bruised.
True. I remember I worked with a girl who loved to pinch, and I didn't have an iron deficiency, but she would pinch me so flipping hard that I would be like bruised for like a month and a half. And it's like, why do you have to do this? But I know those bruises are like the size of footballs. So it's got to be like some force.
But yeah, they're intense, huge, dark and purple bruises.
Scary
they are
stuff.
Deep bruises
of many different color tonalities.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're Roger's away. He's going to Florida for a week. The girls are asleep. Our beloved Carolyn starts to hear giggles. It's dark out. She kind of wanders the halls. She wanders in the rooms, and then she hears.
And she's immediately like, girls, go to bed.
It's time for bed. No fun and games.
Yeah, you can't be playing. It's too late for hide and
clap. It's 3:06. You can't be hiding and clapping.
No. Oh my gosh.
And as she's going from room to room, just to let us know that the girls are fast asleep, she's hearing giggling. And I heard at first like little girl giggles, and then it was like multiple giggles. And then you get the claps, and now she's kind of like going from room to room. And as she hits the stairs, all of the picture frames fall off, and it's just haunting because they
shatter too.
They jump off them.
Yeah, it's not like they just slipped and fell and they just kind of tumbled down the stairs. They are thrown off walls.
Thrown off.
They are completely destroyed.
Irreparable.
Yeah, and they're all pictures of the girls.
Yep. The one that's still hanging, I do believe, is Christine, because I think she gets the up to this point, she gets the grunt of the attack. Is that the word?
She does.
So it's really just,
besides Carolyn with the bruises, she's getting the most attacked.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
Maybe because she's.
But I mean, all of the girls individually are having their own experiences.
That's true.
But she's the one who's been the most terrified.
Yes. Probably because she's got a good cry.
Oh yeah.
As the clock tolls, we get 2 more claps, and now the cellar door is opening as Carolyn is going through, and she's hearing things, seeing things, and as she sees the door open fully, the 3 notes that she played earlier on the piano play. So this thing is definitely
like
messy. We know your boy's gone.
Yeah, come on, girl. Let's do this. Let's have some fun.
It's girl time. Get some mimosas.
Some girl talk.
Let's get some mimosas. Carolyn, in a funny kind of like, not today, kind of goes to the cellar to turn the lights off. And as she peeks down, she sees the piano, which the lights downstairs are off or on, but she's not going down there. And she just says the ever so lovely, whoever's down there, I'm going to lock you in now. And as she turns, smack, door hits her in the face.
Tumbles down.
Rolls to the bottom in complete darkness.
The worst.
And now she is in the cellar
And just
locked in.
stuck in there. Completely dark. She finds, does she find matches or does she find a flashlight?
She finds that a red ball is thrown from behind the cellar stuff.
Yes.
And that's when she runs up the cellar and the cellar light explodes. And now she's sitting there with a matchbook. She's relighting. We are only getting a view of her face lit by the matchlight. And you can see her. She's on all fours, trying to get the light as far down the stairs as possible. She can't see Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
I need to see the piano at the end of the stairs.
Nope. You hear a girl giggle when that first match is lit, and then it goes out, but it's cool because the match literally like the whole thing, and her fingertips got burned by that, unless it was a CG situation.
Yeah.
But then she gets quickly that second match.
Yeah.
That second match lit,
Instantly.
and then you hear, "Hey, you want to play hide and clap?" Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Ooh, get the chills. And it was a kid's voice. I don't know if it's Rory's. And then you get fast. You get
Right
two
by-
claps fast, right beside her head.
Yes, right next to her ear, and then it goes black, and the match goes out, and she's screaming, and she's like running out of the cellar, and
You see the door from the adjacent side shaking, trying to get her out.
Yeah.
And now we hear the knocking all through the house, and the knocking is coming from the bedroom. Andrea's, and it's Cindy banging her head against the armoire again.
Yep.
Which is just
Not.
like all of this is happening all at once. As she's taken to bed, the armoire.
Andrea takes her
to her bed.
because she was like, "All right,
You
you
can
can stay
sleep
with
in here."
me because
Yeah.
I don't feel like walking you all the way down this
not doing
hall.
that.
Like, we'll be fine."
You're going to wake. I know something's going to happen where you're going to wake up. And who knows if they would have walked into the thing, they could have heard mom downstairs, and then all shit would have broken out.
Oh yeah.
So she's taken to bed, and as she lays her in bed, the armoire is now banging from the inside. As Andrea approaches the armoire, you now see Cindy sit up in bed at like a 90-degree angle. And as
Deadeye.
she Andrea opens the armoire, Deadeye, Cindy looks up and is like trying to get it out. But then you realize as the camera pans back, guess who's on top of the house?
Yes, you just get this.
Hunched over.
She's like arms way up the elbows by her head.
Like a bug.
Yes, she looks like a little bug cockroach thing, just
Ready
on there and hissing like.
Hissing. And it's our favorite model of the month, Bathsheba. She then, on all fours, lunges atop the armoire
Literally
towards
like a jumping
Andrea.
frog.
Like a jumping frog, yep.
Yep.
And
all legs and arms out, ready to full on get her.
and got her.
Got her good.
Now Roger's rig pulls up, perfect timing. You got everybody going through everything. He hears screaming. He throws down his luggage and his tool chest. When he gets to the cellar, he releases Carolyn from inside. Now Andrea's fighting with the ghost on the floor, just fighting with herself. Everyone is just in panic mode. Fear is just in place.
Yes.
Like, this is the scariest
Fear
moment of the
all
film.
throughout the house. The whole family is terrified. Roger is just getting home.
What is going on?
Yeah, he's
Tell me what the fuck is going on.
What's going on?
Yeah.
What the hell? Like, there's literally like, why are we all screaming? Why are we crying? Why are we fighting things that aren't
Why am I the
there?
only one working?
Yes. Like, why am I the only normal one?
Why did I have to come home? Yeah, and it's the most frightening part because you get all the elements. You still don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But you do see the monster for the first time.
Finally get to see.
Not just the arms.
Yeah,
You
we finally see the main scary person, Bathsheba. And it is in that armoire.
So scary.
Oh my god, I can't ever look at an armoire.
Never again. No, I wouldn't even approach Well, I don't like saying the word armor. I mean, see, I can't even say it. Armor. I got a marmar. You going in marmars? So they said in a speech that was pretty clear before they introduce what is about to be introduced. Fear is defined as a feeling of agitation and anxiety caused by the presence or imminence of danger. That is fear. That's spooky. That is so spooky.
That is the way to describe fear beautifully, though.
Beautifully. And those are my words. Just kidding. As the imminence.
Yeah. Sure.
M's are imminence. Imminence. Fear is the M&Ms of imminence. The third foreshadowing. We are now at Massachusetts West University, Wakefield, and it's Maurice's exorcism.
This is one of my favorite parts. I love the foreshadowing in this movie, and this is probably one of the biggest ones. So they're showing an exorcism. His name is Maurice. He's a farm boy from Europe. And eventually later on, they create a movie called The Nun. And this is where we get to actually see Maurice get possessed. Mm-hmm. At the end of the movie, he kind of turns around and you just know that there is something wrong with him. And the nun in the movie, she can see that there's something wrong with him. And you have no idea that this is going to be a whole story when you're watching this movie.
It still took me by surprise when you brought that up when we were reading. I was like, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Like, I put it together, but I didn't piece it together. I didn't see that.
Yeah. And so they show in this movie Maurice getting exorcised. And I think that plays so well into the movie, especially because this is one of Lorraine Warren's later cases. And so, yeah, they just did such a good job. They did a good job connecting all of these movies back to this one. And yeah, in the exorcism, in the recording, you see a little upside down cross start to emerge from like where his kidneys would be.
Yeah.
And it just gives you chills. You see him, he has like foam at the mouth, his eyes are rolling back, this little cross is like pulsating like a heart.
Yeah, she mentions in this lecture that, which this lecture is kind of her Achilles because she saw something that will be later revealed, but it haunts her to this day.
And so from what my feeling is we keep seeing Ed say, don't come with me, but like this bad thing has happened to you. That is the exorcism with Maurice. I think that is when Lorraine sees something and almost Satan himself.
Yeah, well, she said you can see here where his eyes start to bleed or he starts to cry tears of blood.
Yeah.
And then the cross, and then he grabs her and looks at her. He doesn't say anything.
Directly in her eyes, and she just starts
screaming like no
from
other.
Deep within, screech.
Yeah, and it's lasted with her. So Ed is definitely cautious about what we're going to do next, which leads to his explanation of infestation, oppression, and possession, the 3 stages. So infestation, that first stage, is the whispering and the voices and the little
kind of little the little like plays here and there, trying to get you a little bit spooked out in your own home, make you a little uncomfortable.
Just a little. It's none of this.
Yeah, none of that. Just a little pokes and bangs here and there.
Just a little bruising on the thigh bone.
Yeah.
Then the second state is oppression, where the victim's targeted, and we definitely believe that our victim is targeted. The entire family's targeted.
Yeah.
But I think Bathsheba is about to hone in on one particular.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it is true that she just goes after the mother. I don't know, because the motherly feels or the motherly.
Well, I mean, Bathsheba herself was a mother,
right?
Which we find out later on.
True. And then the third, of course, is possession. And as they're walking out to their car, their little intern. The little intern introduces them in the parking lot to Carolyn Warren, and they say that, we're good. with meeting you and hearing your story, but he's thinking of
He's
Lorraine.
thinking of Lorraine. They're, I believe they mentioned that they're trying to, like, this is going to be the last one.
This is the last one. Yeah, we're done. We're going to write a book.
Yeah, they want to write a book. They want to do tours of speeches and seminars. They are trying to get out of it.
Right. And Carolyn says, there's something at my house. I have 5 little girls. You have a little girl.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of...
And Lorraine's
you
can see Lorraine's face, and you can see that she's thinking of her own family, and she sees that this mother is truly terrified, truly concerned, and wants to save her girls.
She has to. She has to. So they agree. They arrive at the parent house. As Lorraine is walking in, she automatically has, like, her body language shifts. You probably won't pick it up the first time viewing the film, but you see it. You see this kind of uncomfortable...
She gets a little, like, more tense. Yeah, she just doesn't look like she wants to be there.
Right. And then it shows again when she's introduced to the children and playing off of her own fears, because I don't know if I had this sense, this beautiful, like, gift that she has, there'd be plays off to where you'd have to kind of play off the feels of being like, oh, look, it's the kids. But she senses something. You can see her body kind of shift, and she's like, oh, well, who are these beautiful children? Who are these beautiful young ladies? So she's introduced, and as far as the home life now for the parents is everyone sleeps downstairs in the living room, sleeping bags and pillows, because it's the warmest spot in the house and it's the safest. And
they can be all together. They feel safer. They feel like that protection of just having an extra person even. It's done. It changes everything.
Every
you're still scared, but you're like, at least I'm not alone.
At least we're not alone. When Ed starts to kind of tinker around, he pulls on doors that have been, like, kind of yarned shut, and we then go into his field work of saying these doors are locked because of the knocking.
And I remember Roger just banging on the wall, and he's like, it always comes in threes. Just like that.
Comes in threes, and
Ed actually says, well, that's actually a mock to the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And this is the demon's way of being like, hey, I can do 3 too. Yep.
And then it's brought up the 307 thing, which 3 being
very big number, and being the witching hour.
Then we talk about the horrible smells of death that travel throughout the house. So we already know, with what Lorraine's seen and what Ed's figuring out here, that this house is definitely haunted. There's a demonic spirit in this house.
And this is also the point where Ed pulls out that infamous tape recorder that he always did at every case, and sits Carolyn and Roger down for an interview, and they're talking. That's where they kind of cut.
Yeah, when Lorraine was in the cellar, she's definitely felt like something was awful. And as Ed's upstairs recording, he records the session November 1st, 1971, which you can find online. And the first words she says is, I guess it was the clocks. That's what started it all. And start recording. She answers every question as she was supposed to. And every question that she answered is correct. When we pan back to Lorraine talking with April then shows Lorraine the circus toy and talks about Rory. And Lorraine plays with the box.
And they did this scene so well. It's nice and slow, and you see Lorraine kind of open it, start turning it, and then it pans to, we see Lorraine's face in that swirly spinning mirror at the top of the music box. And every so often you get a little view over her shoulder, And then that one time it pans over and you see Rory.
You see
there.
Rory full knees,
on.
all the way, in the mirror in his little
old
outfit,
school boy's outfit.
Church outfit.
Yeah, his Sunday best.
His Sunday's best. Yeah, it's wild. It's so wild because you don't expect it.
Yeah, because we haven't seen Rory yet,
No,
but
we
we have seen this music box a ton.
A ton.
And so finally getting to see him is so satisfying, but also so terrifying.
So terrifying. As Lorraine walks out to the tree and Ed joins, we hear rope stretching.
That stupid tree.
And now something's hanging behind Ed.
And it's just the feet.
Oh, it's just the feet, just the gray feet.
Slightly kind of swinging.
Right beside Ed's head.
Yep.
And Lorraine almost passes out.
Yeah.
And then that's when we're told that there is a dark entity in the house. Lorraine tells the family that she saw the shadow behind them when she first walked in, and she saw when the girls were introduced, she saw the dark entity latch on. So now there is a dark entity in this house.
Attached to this family.
And it's attached to you, and there's nothing you can do. There's nowhere you can go.
At this point, even if you move, it's going to try to find you.
It's going to find you. It's latched on.
Yeah, it's stuck to you. It doesn't care about the house anymore.
We're now in the Warrens' house where Judy is telling her mommy that she found a necklace, two locket necklace that they found at a churchyard sale. And Judy gives her mom the necklace, which has her face in it. And Judy has one of the parents, which is really cool. That way they'll never be separate.
Especially with them traveling.
With them traveling so much.
Cute and heartfelt.
It was so cute. We needed that. We needed that little breath.
We needed a breather.
We needed a bathroom break.
Yes.
When they are talking about the tapes, interviewed Carolyn and the interview of the house, her voice didn't record. Like they listened to it over and over and over, and it's just
silence. It's
asking questions. And then when we're told the 1863 story of Jetson Sherman marrying Bathsheba, who is related to Marytown Esty, which is
a witch that was an accused witch hung in the Salem witch trials.
That kind of gives us kind of a ploy for what the plot's really about. And Bathsheba, the one haunting the house and terrorizing this family, sacrificed her brand new baby of 7 days old, and then after proclaiming her love to Satan, climbed the tree that we call the Conjuring tree and hangs herself and cursed anyone who tried to take her land.
And it was exactly at 3:07. Oh my gosh. And then when they're talking about it, and then boom, that tape recorder comes on.
It comes on. And it's and you hear him saying, well, what happened then, after the clock's so good. So good.
And the fact that they're away from the Conjuring house, they're in their own home, and Bathsheba's like, I could be here too.
Here I am.
Here I am. Listen to me talk.
We weren't expecting that.
No,
we weren't expecting that. So good.
I just don't even know. I can't even say anything. It was so good.
After they talked about what happened throughout the land, the 200 acres, there was a Madam Walker who killed her son, Rory. Rory is the kid who was in the little circus toy music box. There was a boy who committed suicide. There were drownings. There were kids that have, died on this area.
There was a maid too.
There was a maid, yeah. The maid committed suicide.
A lot of mothers and children. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was 307 when Bathsheba was talking over Carolyn's voice when it showed their situation. And then we come to the third song. She Saw Something by Joseph Beshara. I don't know this song. It kind of reminded me of Sufjan Stevens, which I was like, why would they have Sufjan Stevens in 1970? But yeah, it's Joseph Beshara, which sounds like he was a witch hunter and probably had some Bathsheba himself.
Oh, yeah.
And now, as far as the film takes a wide angle. We're now introduced to the ghost hunting aspect of this film. Being a ghost hunter myself, being that you're a ghost hunter yourself, we love the fact that we're 1970s, not 2024 equipment. So they unload truckloads. We're getting bell rings for doorknobs, energy photo captures, instant drop in temperature thermostat triggers. Like, it's wild, all this equipment. And now, everything's the size of a mouse. You've got your little spirit box. It's the size of, iPhone 1. When we capture the element, now that the house we know has a dark entity, and that we're going to start recording and may be getting permission to exercise the house, there's a sweet little area where Carolyn and Lorraine start talking about family, and they're looking at pictures which are reframed and reglassed, which is wild. And Carolyn says to Lorraine, "How could a mother kill her own child?" And Lorraine says it was never a child to her. She just used it, or she just used her God-given gift as the ultimate defense against him. And as Lorraine touches Carolyn's hand, you get the beach scene.
Yeah. And so Carolyn's holding this beautiful picture of her family at the beach, and Lorraine, using her abilities, kind of taps into that memory with her and gets to see how much Carolyn actually loves these girls. And I think this really brings it home for her to where she's like, we need to help these people. We need to help this family. This mom is scared and loves her children.
Loves her children. Yeah, that, when she says they mean the world to me, I tear up every time. I mean, that might be something in the future. I might get that tattooed on my face somewhere.
Add to the collection.
Yeah. They mean the world to me. Who's they? Oh. And then you get the first bell tingling from the door. You get the door creaking and it's slightly opening up. Everyone's heart's racing afoot. And then you realize it's just the sheriff tinkling. There's that comedy relief. There's that comedy relief.
Oh my gosh.
All right, now we're outside. Lorraine folding laundry, saying that this is...
She starts talking about the land. She starts talking about the house. They're just having a cute, full-on, loving moment. All the stuff with Lorraine, how they want to kind of stop doing all these demon stuff. Yeah. Ed is talking about all this demon stuff, and he's like, I kind of want to stop. Like, could you imagine us here in a house like this with some land, you, me, and Judy?
And then he goes away as she still folds the laundry linen outside.
She's
hanging it.
Yeah, she's hanging them up to dry, and then all of a sudden these storm clouds kind of start rolling in. The wind picks up. It's getting a little spooky out.
It's getting spooky out. It's getting too spooky out.
And then this huge gust of wind takes this sheet off of the line and then stops.
In a human form. Oh, it's so frightening.
Little silhouette of a human just for a bit. And then whoosh, goes up to the top floor of the house, covers up this window to Carolyn and Roger's bedroom, and it slides away, and there's Bathsheba. And she just slowly turns and kind of walks out of frame from the window. And Lorraine's like,
we gotta do this.
We gotta go. I gotta go.
Carolyn then sits up erect, 90 degrees, and is screaming her head off. Jolts up. And Bathsheba is right above her, just hovering right above her.
Just kind of get this little pan of her face, and she's just like, bloody and gross.
So crazy. So crazy. And Carolyn screams. Bathsheba screams, opens her mouth, and spills red blood into the mouth.
You gotta think it's blood.
Yeah, it's blood. It's definitely blood. But spills the demons into her mouth. And now we have Lorraine racing upstairs to fight to knock the door down to help Carolyn, because she knows this is it. This is it. And Carolyn then enters her bathroom and locks the door as Lorraine approaches and bangs on the door. Carolyn opens it, and it's nonchalant. She's cool as a
She's like,
cucumber.
oh, I'm fine.
She's
Just a little
fine.
stomach ache.
Just a little kidney
And
pain.
you can see in Lorraine's face, she's like,
She knows.
She's like, I know what's going on. Don't lie to me.
She
Don't
knows.
lie to me.
She totally knows. And we are now set with, that is the possession.
Yep. That is the possession. And now is when things start getting all in. All in. And when you started playing and then both of those things overlapping, that was creepy. I was like, what the fuck did we do?
So creepy. What did we do? Okay, we're...
All right.
So now we've covered, the ghost hunting equipment, all the crazy wild things that they brought out of their van. They have the coolest equipment, 1971. Just to dive in, like most of that stuff was homemade, and a lot of that stuff you can still find today for like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Really?
But yeah, it's pretty cool. But shout out to Ghost Stop. We have a great deal of equipment from them, and a lot of their packages are really inexpensive for the stuff that you get, and they're really well made. And can't wait to dive into the ghost hunting at the end of this episode. So we're now at the possession. So we're at the possession.
Carolyn is not doing well.
Not doing well, Mom. Thinking the whistle, the look what she made me do. Why do I have that down?
Oh, because that was when, so later on in the night when the officer was kind of looking around, he was doing stuff.
Just cleaning dishes.
He was cleaning
and
dishes.
He heard something.
Yeah, and he goes to investigate. And he's walking around, and the maid that had killed herself appears in front of him and just jumps at him and screams, "Look what you made me do! Look what you made me do!"
And scares the flipping pants off of him.
Now he believes.
And now he believes. And again, they say you can't shoot a ghost. But yeah, so that's when, she says it again, look what she made me do. And he gets Ed to come over. He said he saw her. And then now in the corner of your eye in the back room, you see someone walk past the hallway to the stairway. And that's when you see Cindy again. She's sleepwalking, and the camera takes that picture.
And everybody freaks out.
Everyone freaks out. So then they say, oh, it's just a photo. It took a photo of her. And then Ed said, no, there's something attached to her, which is so creepy because it hits me every time to think, oh, she walked by at that energy level.
And Roger was just like, yeah, sleepwalking. Well, I'll just get her down. And Ed was like, no, we gotta let this play through. We gotta capture this.
We have to. When they hit upstairs and they go into the room, I do believe it's the one with the armoire. You can see their breath, which is really cool. Just something that they didn't really say, oh, it's so much colder up here, or with that temperature
it's
drop.
Just something that you have to see in the details.
You have to see, which is so good. And
Cindy is sleepwalking, and she goes into the room, and then the door slams closed behind her.
That's right.
And and Ed and Lorraine and Roger, they're all freaking out and running up to the room, and they can't get in. Eventually, they burst into the room. And she's nowhere to be found.
There's no one there.
And so they're trying to figure it out, and Ed grabs a black light and looks, because she wasn't wearing shoes.
That's right.
She was asleep.
She was in PJs.
Saw the footprints, and then
two sets of footprints. Wow.
And then hands opening the secret opening.
And this is when you first see the secret opening
in the armoire. Yeah.
Just creepy. So they find her in there. That's when Lorraine, finds the space for the circus toy.
And then while she's in there, she's pulling up a rope, and it's a noose. And then doesn't she fall through?
When she realizes it's a noose, she stands up startled and immediately falls through. I guess that would be 3 floors because it's
all
the
the way to the basement.
Yes.
And this is where things get really creepy for Lorraine.
She's downstairs. She's hearing things, hearing 2 sets of giggles. You can hear, she made me do it. She made me do it.
You hear all of the ghosts.
You hear all the everything that's happened down there, because she's like, horrible things have happened down here.
Yeah.
This time, you hear a woman crying.
Doesn't she turn and there's a body hanging from where she fell?
Yes.
And it's swinging back and forth towards her and from her.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but she eventually comes to face with the mother.
She comes face to face with the mother. And that's when she said she knew.
And I think she sees her through a reflection or something.
She picks
and it's the larger woman in the yellow.
Yes, which is Rory's mother.
And she's holding Rory.
Right. As if he's been.
And she's sobbing, and she's like, look what she made me do.
Yes. Yes.
And I remember her turning and coming face to face with this woman. The mascara running down her face. She was pale. Her eyes were wider than saucers.
Yep. It was such a creepy moment.
It was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Oh. Okay, so basically...
Creepy Connie Corner.
Creepy Connie's Corner. Okay.
Do you know Creepy Connie from Jessie?
Yes. So that's where...
I Googled you.
You Googled
I Googled you,
me.
and it pops up on
It
Revival.
does. So I remember watching this, and everybody knew my name was Constance, right? So because I went by a nickname in middle school.
Bella.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest reasons I never switched to Constance, is because everybody would be like, oh, so can I call you Connie, like Creepy Connie from Jessie? And she was also in the show, she was obsessed with like Harry Potter, and at the time I was obsessed with Harry Potter. And it was
not Dobby.
Not... You might not like Dobby. I still love
Skinless Dobby.
I cried at his death.
I laughed so. Kill his ass! Put a sock over his head.
No! Master Give Dobby a sock! Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay, it's okay. But anyways, so I had a group of friends come over. And I had just gotten my Ouija board, and I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. And we all went to Catholic school together, so that's how we all met. And I pull it out, and I start, like, I'm not really doing anything to begin with, and nothing's really happening. And so in my head, I was like, oh, I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them good. They're going to hate me, and it's going to be okay, but they're sleeping at my house tonight, so... And so I start moving it, and I kind of just like start moving it a little bit more and more. And my friends are like freaking out. They're taking their hands off the board, doing things that they're not supposed to. And I'm like, guys, no, come on, come back. You got to keep your hands on the board. We got to say goodbye. And one of my friends starts like getting really scared and leaves, like just walks away. And I was like, okay, we're going to take this to the next level.
Gotta take it.
And I start like shaking, and I like start like looking like I'm getting possessed, like I'm seizing. And
she's left?
They all all start screaming. They all start freaking out.
We have to close the door.
My one friend that was there, that was my best friend, that is my best friend to this day, was sitting there like, I know what she's doing. Girl, you're not fooling me. But our other two friends were running for the hills, so scared. I like stopped it for a second. I lifted it up and looked through like the planchette and like screamed and threw it at one of my friends. Like I saw something behind her.
So good.
It was wrong, but I eventually stopped, and they forgave me and they laughed. They were like, that was good, but that was probably one of the meanest things I've done.
So good.
One girl was crying. It was bad.
Oh my god.
But I haven't pulled a prank with the Ouija board yet, but I have a few friends in mind who I know are terrified of the Ouija board.
Oh, yeah.
And I want them to like come over, and they open up the door, and I just have like candles everywhere, and it's dark, and I'm just like sitting there like, welcome.
You gotta have those.
Come join the seance.
Yes, you have to have those blackout eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'll get like the contacts.
Yeah, the contacts. I forget what they're called, but they're the whole blackout eyes. But what would be really cool is if you got a makeup artist to like draw your your eyes on your eyelids. I'm already there with you. And then, boo! I jump out of the closet with a sheet.
They've never seen you before. They have no idea who you
They're like,
are.
oh look, it's King Jeremy the Wicked, and he's in a sheet.
They're like, who's this random man? The demon.
Click, grandfather clock. Click, 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 click. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how old? I was gonna say how old?
We were like 16
Okay.
at the time.
So last year.
No. Okay, I'm not that young.
Gen Z'd.
I am not that young.
No.
But no, we were 16. We were like just getting out. It was like 2 years out of Catholic school, so we all were
Vulnerable.
yeah. We were all like still very into the weird demon stuff. Like
There's.
we knew not to go around it.
Well, I know. I'm jumping ahead, but
That's okay.
I know, like the Catholic or religion school, all girls school or whatever, makes for horrifying like openings. There's several movies. The Craft. The one that comes to mind when you first started talking is a Spanish film called Veronica.
Yes.
Veronica
Yes.
is so good.
Yes.
She opens the thing. She opens with the Ouija board. To
That's basically
to
what me and my friends were.
Yeah, to talk. And I'm pretty sure that's right around the time it came out too, because they said people were running out of the theaters. I thought it was the scariest thing film-wise on streaming situations. Not the scariest I've ever seen, but the twist at the end just. I mean, I'm sold. This is legit. But it's just weird how they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, and it's weird because in actual Catholic school we have religion class, and the priest comes in, and it's basically like a glorified Bible study, and they really do avoid talking about the bad, the devil, hell. They try to, but there was one day he came in, and I'm not going to say any names because this story is a little messed up. He came in and he was like, we're going to talk about the 7 layers of hell.
Jeez.
I was like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Before breakfast.
Yeah. I was like, it is 11 in the morning. Priest, let's talk about hell.
Wow. Wow.
And
The first layer is.
but what he does is he finds an anime version of Dante's Inferno.
Wow.
And they get to the lust layer. We're in 7th grade. Catholic school. My class consists of 8 girls and 2 boys. And there are like naked anime women just in this lust layer of hell, and he's sitting back watching it, and we're all just like,
sitting
what?
back going,
Yeah, he's just sitting back in his chair, and we're all just like, we're like, what is this?
Wow.
Like,
7th
what?
grade?
Yeah, I was like, what? He was not there next year. But
he was not there.
definitely not. But
Jeez.
so we were all like, what the hell is going on?
That's crazy.
We were like, what are we watching here?
That's crazy.
I've had, Catholic school is weird. I've had my principal throw a pair of pants at me from the Lost and Found.
Just spit.
So please don't spit.
I was at dinner last night. I'm sorry.
Say it,
I was
don't
at dinner
spray
last
it.
night, and I love the rabbit turd ice. You know,
Yes, the little crushed
Yeah,
ice.
the little crushed ice that they have in the bar.
Yes.
And I was just like taking a sip of my Diet Coke, and someone made me laugh, and
One of the cubes?
One little cube came out, and someone's like, "Was that your tooth?" Like, it wasn't that funny, but I was like, "I've honestly, peripherally, I thought it was my tooth." Like,
Oh my God.
teeth are falling out.
Imagine.
So sorry for spitting.
No,
on
you're
you.
good. But no, Catholic school is definitely weird. It sets you up to have a weird outlook on life, especially as a woman. So we had to wear skirts to church. The plaid classic Catholic school uniform. And my mom and my family didn't want to buy me a new one. And so we tried to take the hem out and everything, make it a little longer because it had to be at your knees. And it was probably like about an inch too short. And I was sitting in line getting ready to be picked up from school, and my principal, you can hear the heels click on the floor.
He wears heels?
She.
Okay.
She.
Not at kind of school is
not
this?
at a Catholic school.
It's an all-girls school. There's 2 boys in your classroom.
Literally.
Here comes principal, father principal, click, 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 his 9-inch stilettos and his ruby red lipstick. Eat up.
But she comes in and has a pair of pants from Lost and Found and throws them at me. And she was like standing up. I'm sitting down on the gym floor waiting for my mom to pull up. And she throws a pair of pants at me and she's like, wear these if you don't have anything else. Jeez. And I was like, okay.
So you put them on your head.
I just like folded them back up and put them in my bag. I was like, yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
That's incredible.
But there's so much stuff like that, and
But I want to learn more about the layers of hell.
Yeah,
I definitely want to learn more about the layers of hell. And find that anime.
I don't know why he thought that this would be a good idea to show the 7th grade class. He really just wanted to put in the layers of hell into our mind forever. And he did.
I'm curious. I'm curious.
I mean,
speaking of layers of hell.
Oh God, this could go anywhere.
I have a really incredible story. I was moving into a family home, and Ethan, my son, was 10 years old, and we're moving in, just he and I, into a house that's been in the family for a while, and we had to strip carpet. We had to blow. Manual labor, which I do not do.
Yeah.
I hire. do said do, and I had to do this. I had to do this because it was like the it was a no heat. It had power, but it had an open attic that, during the winter it was freezing cold in the house. You had to set a fire. Yeah, and then so we sprayed insulation up top. I didn't go up in the attic, but my father and grandfather and great uncle sprayed the attic with the insulation just so we could get heat and the house would stay warm. And then we, like I said, pulled carpet, we laid hardwoods, we did a ton of manual labor to this house in a 1 week in August heat. I was eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner at like gas station hot dogs. No, I would not do that. I would not do that. But it was just, fast food, heavy food, pizza. And after that 4 or 5 days of shit work, I felt like hell. I was tired. My bones ached, and I had been told that this house was haunted, and I've always been into, the macabre, but
Same.
My Boston Terrier, who I miss, I love him so much, Whoop Whoop, he was
womp,
very,
womp.
very womp womp. Did you just womp womp the Whoop Whoop? Did you just womp womp the Whoop Whoop?
I did
womp
womp
womp the Whoop Whoop. Yeah, Whoop Whoop.
I can't even say that. Womp womp the Whoop Whoop.
Whoop Whoop was a perfect Boston Terrier. He had 3 Yankees jerseys, which only Boston fans or Yankee fans would understand. It's like, I get it.
Yeah.
But he was the biggest, laziest pup in the litter, and his mom was a show dog. So if a Boston Terrier, or most dogs with black fur, if they have gold flakes, it pops prestige, and he had a ton of gold flakes. But he was never barked, never growled. He was just such a good dog. And he was at my parents' while we were doing all this. So now I'm going to stay the night in this house the first night. And Whoop Whoop loved, I don't want to say spread eagle, but he would just loaf on hardwoods.
Like just
his
completely
belly,
starfish.
Just snoring starfish. That's the best. Spread eagle. Which I think is more like this. Like this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So polar bear floor rug. So he's lying on the floor I'm exhausted. I made a drink. And then I'm like, well, this is my house.
This is where I live.
This is where I live. So it was just me and him. And I'm so exhausted. And I start hearing children laughing.
Hell no.
So the neighbor to the left was 140, and she had already come over twice in one day with a pie.
Did you say 140?
140. Could not. Let's just say her name was Pearl.
Pearl.
And she came over in the same day.
Okay.
With a pie, knowing that she had forgotten that she already made a pie and brought us one.
Oh.
She was like, just wanted to say hello, my name is Pearl, eat up.
Eat up.
Eat up. And so we're like, thank you. And I'm like, we didn't have the heart to tell her that, you already
gave us a pie, but like, sure.
And we're not going to eat it because there was a fingernail in it.
No.
So we're... Whoop Whoop is passed out on the floor.
Whoop Whoop.
I'm hearing children laughing, and it's so strange because it's clear. Now, again, my mind's bent. I am exhausted.
Yeah. You've been doing renovations, moving.
Moving.
Yeah.
All of it. Breathing the fumes of paint, of the hardwoods, whatever was underneath that carpet, whatever was sprayed up top.
Oh, your brain's loving all those chemicals.
And then we got the heat. We got the heat on. So.
Oh yeah.
So and it's August, so we have the heat on. I don't know where that came from. Hard to edit. So anyway, I hear the children laughing. Now, I'm into anime. I love anime.
Oh, yeah,
And
same.
when you said anime Dante's Inferno, I was like, oh, this is the one I'm going to pop off because this one just has so much premise. So we, Ethan and I, we cosplayed. We were watching Naruto live. We were really just so otaku that was our lifestyle. So then my mind picks up the kids next door on the other side. Pearl, 140-year-old Pearl's over here with the pies. And then over here, it was a Hispanic family, and they had a bunch of kids, but it's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's a school night. So these kids...
Is it like houses, or is it like townhomes?
It's houses.
Okay.
So it's houses with like acre property. So
okay, yeah. I wanted to see how close y'all were.
Yeah. So close enough to not be able to hear kids
laughing,
if they're laughing at 1 a.m. So then I'm like... Okay, I go outside. I didn't hear anything.
Oh God.
I go back inside and I hear it. Now Whoop Whoop's still passed out snoring, and he's underneath the attic door. The attic door, which I have not been up inside. Didn't need to go up there.
You
Didn't
don't
have
need to
no reason to go up there. But
they
did blow the installation up there. So maybe the fiberglass is seeping through. Maybe I don't know. I just came to the realization that it's time for me to go to bed. I'm going to finish this drink. Yep, time to go to bed.
And leave it be.
I kind of find a pathway. There's one light at the end of the hallway that I have to cut off, and then I'm gonna run to the bedroom. Hopefully, not trample over Whoop Whoop, and get to the night time. So I start to hear the giggles, and it's a little bit louder. It's a boy and girl, and now. It's Japanese. I can hear Japanese. I can actually hear Donde Agushia, Donde Agushia. Donde Agushia, Donde Agushia.
That is
And I'm like, what the fart?
What the fart?
Why the face? WTF? Why the face? And I'm like, I am going to bed. Like, I'm hearing Donde Agushia, which is not... I know what that means in Japanese. If you know what it means in Japanese, then you know what it means in Japanese, and you can email us at revivalahorrorpodcast@gmail.com and let us know what that is translated into. I'll tell you later, Connie.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Donde Agushia, Donde Agushia. I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Anything in another language is already creepy.
Yes.
You're just like, I don't understand.
The K-horror right now is so good. The K-horror, Peninsula, Train to Busan, Parasite, it's all good. It's all good. Squid Games, that's Korean. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool.
You're there. You're there.
So, to make a long story short, always makes the story longer. Did you know that? When someone says, all right, long story short, it's like, you just made the story longer.
Yep.
Womp womp. So whoop 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 whoop. So whoop whoop's there. He's passed out, still snoring.
Aw.
I have to run to the northern part of the house. The laughter, the giggling is louder, and I have to count my paces, click the light, turn around, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, jump over whoop whoop, and I'll be in the room. Covers night time. So I go to the light. I get my fingers on the switch. I turn back. Whoop whoop's now on all fours. He's looking up at the attic, and the attic is open like that.
Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop. Do something. Do something. Whoop whoop.
I mean, he is now like 10 to 12 paces.
Oh, I
grab the light switch. He's up on all fours.
Oh my
He's
God.
looking up into the attic because that's where. And the attic door has always been sealed. Why is it open
Why?
now?
They're
Why
peeking.
is it open now? Like,
They're peeking.
And throughout the time I lived there, that attic door always stayed open like that. Like I saw it sealed, but I think I was looking like directly below it. So it's always had that opening because of maybe heat
Old.
or warped or whatever. It was an old house,
Old.
like from the 30s.
It's
so
old.
little ranch. But for this particular moment, he's on all fours, looking up into an
And he
attic
was
door
just
that's open. He was just
snoring.
snoring. And I said, whoop, whoop, and he barked like he does.
Yeah.
And I peed myself. And then I called my mommy and I said, Mommy, come get me. She's like, what? I was like, it's weep, weep. And my mom came to get me. We stayed at the house.
My mom, here's a ghost.
Mommy.
Mommy, there's something in my attic. I'm scared.
I mean, I said the children are giggling, and I was just like out of it.
Oh yeah, no.
So she came to get me. We went to the house. The next morning, she's like, "We're going to the house, and we're going to look in the attic." And I was like,
You have fun. You can go die
"Not
on your own.
happening,
I
not
will stay
happening."
down here.
Yep, not happening. So we went back and we went up in the attic. And right when you go up in the attic and you see, your 180 peripheral,
Yeah.
it's just attic.
It's just attic.
attic. Maybe some mouse turds or squirrel turds or that ice that I was eating earlier, rabbit turds. Teeth. There's teeth everywhere.
It was your tooth. The tooth fairy lives up there.
Wow. What if it was like all your teeth? Oh, my baby. And then she locks me in the fucking attic.
Oh.
So we go up there.
I have a good story about creepy tooth fairy.
We go up in the attic. I'm like shaking. I turn, there's nothing, and as I'm coming down the attic to like boop boop boop, facing this way, there's children's books. There's children's books. Now, why did my grandfather, great uncle, and dad
were they Japanese or Asian children's books?
There were
were
children's books, but they were in a box.
Okay.
Within a box.
Oh, a box in a box.
A box in a box. Inside the box that it was in had no dust, just a little installation on it. Yeah.
Nope.
The box inside was covered in dust. And then inside that
Was
were
the books.
children's books.
That's not normal.
And not cool, right?
That's not normal.
Why did they, when they sprayed the installation, I know that they probably were like, oh, it's just a box, but they would have cleared that out. Why at that moment would that be there? And I never touched it. I mean, I was like, yep, you stay right.
Yeah, that's where you live.
That's
forever.
where. So yeah, when we sold the house, they were like, "Oh, there's a box upstairs that has books in it," and we're like, "Yep, I'm not touching that."
No, all those books are all yours, babes.
All yours. They come with the house. They come with the house. But yeah, I just thought that was just such a fantastic, I lived at that house for like 2 years after that, and there were moments, but that was the first night.
Yeah. They were wanting to let you know that hey, we're here too.
We're here too.
We're gonna be your little roommates.
We're friendly,
but
we love cosplay, and we'll be watching you wear your cosplay.
Yeah.
And shower. So yeah, that's it.
No, don't bring that up because that's when I feel so
Vulnerable.
scared because all I think of is oh my god, what is is it Scream where they're in what is the no The movie, she's in the shower. Psycho. Thank you. Psycho. Like, that's literally, yeah, I know. Wrong.
Gremlins.
I knew it was like a one word.
Yeah. And Psycho is Hitchcock, and Psycho is Anthony Perkins, and Anthony Perkins' son, Osgood Perkins, did Long Legs. So
that's really cool.
I like how that came full circle.
I like how that came full circle.
But yeah,
but
that scene is...
That's all I think of when I'm in the shower. I'm like, this is how I'm going to die. There's going to be a ghost or a murderer, and they're just going to...
Or Ghostesses. Or King Jeremy the Wicked in a sheet.
Yeah, popping out during our seance.
Popping off. Well, yeah, there we have it. So, yeah. Thank you guys for listening. You're awesome.
Thank you so much.
We love the familiars, and we love the kookies and the weirdos and the wackos and the kooks, and
the
we love you creepies. I like that.
The creepies.
You're our creepies. I was gonna say, are they listeners? Are they our familiars, or are they our creepies?
Our creepies.
I like our creepies.
I feel like it's for all.
It's all
creepies.
The crispies.
Maybe not the crispies. I don't know if I want to be crispy.
No. But yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We appreciate you. We adore you. We love you, crispies.
Don't call them crispies.
I said the bad word. All right.
You said a no word.
I did. I said a bad word. Womp womp. Email us, revivalahorrorpodcast@gmail.com. Tell us your ghost stories. Tell us your haunts. We want to hear anything and everything creepy and or crispy.
I'm less for crispy. I'd like crispy. More creepy than crispy.
The principal threw his pants at me and he was wearing high heels. This is Creepy Connie.
And this is King Jeremy the Wicked.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Revival, a horror podcast. Sorry. King Jeremy the Wicked and Creepy Connie. Goodbye.